No one could have imagined then that in the 2000s, 6 million people would visit this place every year. The memorial, located on the banks of the Potomac River, includes a huge statue of a seated Abraham Lincoln, 2 stone slabs engraved with the texts of Lincoln's second inaugural address and his Gettysburg Address. The marshy area will later be turned into an artificial reservoir. In 1930, the mountain was renamed in honor of Charles Rushmore, an American lawyer from New York who organized an expedition and first visited the area in 1885. Construction of the monument began in 1927 and was completed in 1941. The heads of Presidents George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln are carved into the mountain. The Great Sphinx of Giza in 1871. The photograph shows French Egyptologist Auguste Mariette and Emperor Pedro II of Brazil with other members of the expedition. Great Sphinx now. The Sphinx was carved from the base of the Giza Plateau and excavated by French explorers in the early 1900s. The 38-meter tall statue in Rio de Janeiro is made of reinforced concrete and porous stone. The largest religious sculpture was built only with money donated by the Catholic community in Brazil. Construction began in 1922 and lasted 6 years. Initially, it was not intended that this monument of engineering would be permanent. Gustave Eiffel built his tower for the 1889 Universal Exhibition, and after that it was to be demolished. Barcelona abandoned the tower and it was moved to Paris. When Paris surrendered to Nazi Germany in 1940, the French cut the elevator cables on the Eiffel Tower so that the Nazis would have to climb all 700 steps before planting their flag. San Francisco in 1906, then a 7.8 magnitude earthquake in the city devastated the Bay Area. More than 3,000 people died. At that time, San Francisco was the 9th largest city in the United States. About 80% of the city was destroyed by fires, and many residents fled to Oakland and Berkeley. Financial losses due to the disaster exceeded $400 million. Manhattan Island was first settled by the Dutch in 1624, and the area where Times Square is now located was a transportation hub. The land around this site, where horses and livestock were kept, became known as Longacre. In 1904, the New York Times moved into a building on 42nd Street overlooking Longacre Square. Soon a subway station appeared here, and the square was renamed Times Square. This is the oldest surviving photograph taken from a bird's eye view. It was made by the American James Wallace Black on October 13, 1860, rising in a balloon to a height of 630 meters. The ancient city was abandoned and forgotten for 300 years until it was discovered from the air by American explorer Professor Hiram Bingham in 1911. Then the cleaning and reconstruction of Machu Picchu began. Until the beginning of the 20th century, one of the oldest stone structures on the planet looked different. There were more tilted and fallen elements. Restoration work from 1901 to 1965, according to British researchers, greatly distorted the original arrangement of the stones. Despite its legendary status, the wall gradually being destroyed by time continues to fall into disrepair. Many tens of kilometers of walls were almost completely destroyed already in the 20th century. In 1984, China developed a program to restore the wall, but to this day, non-tourist sections of the wall are left to their fate. Covered with abundant vegetation at the end of the 19th century, the pyramid was completely discovered only in the 30s of the 20th century. Now the Parthenon is still in a dilapidated state, but still not in such a deplorable state as in the very first existing photograph of the temple. The picture is also the first in history to depict Athens. Tower Bridge is a combined drawbridge and drawbridge in central London. Its construction began in 1886 and its opening took place in 1894. Interestingly, in 1977, to commemorate the Queen's Jubilee, the bridge was painted red, white, and blue.